Have a blast, Beast.
Yes, ma'am. Let's do it. Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. It is indeed your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the Trading Floor with your humble hosts, Angel Barbosa on the ones and twos, and Jeremy Alexander Newsom on the threes and fours, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food reminding you to love life, live life, and trade. How are you, beautiful people, doing? Most specifically, Justin Linderman. Hope you're doing great, man. Miss you, love you. You're awesome. Let's see. Yes, perfect, good, awesome, wonderful, fantastic. I love it. Linderman says, where's everyone else? Right here, man. They're there. They're in hiding. They're in cloaks. They got their invisibility cloaks on. What day is today? Today is Friday. Oh, man, the weekend's here. Who's pumped? What you doing this weekend, Linderman? Liz, what you got doing this weekend? Angie was telling me some of her plans. Going to some movies, seeing her parents. I love it. I love it. Fantastic. Okay, well, let's talk about the SPY, some general stuff, the general market, SPY, everything's happening. So much stuff going on the last 2 weeks. I have truly lost track of time. Just the last 2 weeks have been going absolutely bananas. SPY today had one of the most bullish gaps I've seen. I'm trying to think in comparative how bullish this is. Right there. If I had to compare this gap's bullishness to any other recent bullish gap, it would be right there. Number two, probably be this one. And this one probably still the strongest. I do like this one a lot because it had more room to go. And when that day happened, we were very bullish after that, leading up into some of these highs. So as of right now, on the SPY, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be hitting an all-time high, and it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time now before we hit the all-time high, which on the SPY is 213.78. Really good-looking move on the SPY. I'm ready for it to break out. It might even happen this week. We might do something like this, and then we'll probably pull back a smidge because on the hourly and the 4-hourly chart, there is a lot of retest gaps out there. So here's one, and here's one. So yes, we could continue up a little bit higher, break the all-time high, get to the 214, 215 area, and then yes, we will pull back just a smidge, in my personal opinion. At least I think so. Dean sold some 215 calls. My thought process on that is if we can gap down a little bit Monday morning, Dean, you'll probably be able to buy those back for next to nothing, I would imagine, if we gap down Monday morning, which we don't have to, of course, but I would like a little bit of a pullback. I would say if you're not in bullish right now, short term or long term, it's probably not going to be the most amazing time to hop in. Only reason I say that is, again, this is a very strong resistance zone. It would be uncomfortable to go bullish here. I'm not denying that the edge is bullish, but if you're planning on going bullish right here, it's a short-term trade. We're talking days to hours, not weeks or months. For another week or month long-term trade, I'll wait on this, and wait on this if that occurs. A shorter-term or long-term level, my overall big picture aspect before, if we get any market to really start selling off, we're going to need this, and then this, and then this. And then once we start reaching this peak right there, that's when I actually will be a little concerned. And I'll probably send out a few, hey, I'm going to cash emails and whatever I'm invested in at that point. Because what you want for a market to reverse is everyone to be bullish. You don't want people to be knowing about the bearishness out there. You don't want your general public. You don't want the next people you talk to on the street to be bearish. Because when there's a lot of bears and everyone's bearish, when everyone's looking for the market to roll over, it's not going to happen. At least not big picture. Market does exactly the opposite of what everyone thinks it's going to do. So not a lot of people have been talking about all-time high breakouts. It's not a thing that's been discussed very much. It's not a very popular opinion. And I'm not saying that's going to be the right thing, right? We could quite easily just do this and this again. But after this low with this volume, I heavily doubt that. I really don't think we print a lower low. And again, absolutely could, but I will be in cash a lot. When we break out, I'll probably be doing a put sale to get another 100 shares of SPY. During the election, if we can pull back a little bit, should be some volatility. I will be waiting. I will be patient on that. I'm probably not going to be trading the SPY that often coming into the election. And then again, maybe wait for some pullbacks, some viable opportunities, and see if I can snag 100 shares on that retracement. And maybe buy another 100 on margin if it trades back down to here. And then again, so on and so forth. So we'll kind of see what's going on and kind of take it from there. Leonard said, not disagreeing, but just wanted to show you what I noticed today on SPY and Facebook. Please throw it my way. No, I actually hope that happens. I do. On SPY and Facebook. I think we trade up a little bit higher, and then we pull back, and I would like a dip, and then another little bit of a bounce. That, to me, would be a very, very bullish signal if we can get that. As long as we make a higher high, or I'm sorry, I apologize, a higher low than right here. As long as we can make a higher low than that area, I think we're going to continue bullish short term. We'll probably chop around a little bit. And that's why I haven't had tons and tons of trades on the SPY other than non-directional stuff. Most of it is just stocks, so individuals. But anyway, very, very bullish gap. Bullish gaps across the board. Dow Jones ETF, I mean, wow. Look at that pivot. Opened right above it. Right above those resistances, high waves, everything's looking good. Again, your all-time high on the DIA is 183.26. And we're pretty close to that. Strong gap there. IWM. Strong gap on the IWM. So we had a really nice high wave indecision candle yesterday. And I think if I remember correctly, we talked about yesterday, we mentioned that if we're going to move bearish, it needed to happen today. We need to get a bearish candle. And if we opened and gapped up strong, it would run really nicely. The job numbers came out really well, very positive. And I think that had a lot to do with a little bit of the gap. Right? You had some good job numbers come out. So, yeah. Market ran. IWM looks good. Here's the XLE. We are on a bull put spread in the XLE. 62.61, snagged that yesterday, pretty much at the lows. And that's for August. So as it stands right now, to my recollection, I'm in 2 August positions right now. That one and rig. Now, I'm not saying those are the longest term positions that I have, but those are the only August that I have right now. Option sales or something. So XLE and RIG. So we're coming up into option expiration next Friday for July. Today is Finance Friday, so we're going to look at all kinds of financial stuff. XLF did have a good gap. The good news about XLF is with this little double bottom looking thing, you're at the 200 simple moving average. We didn't really open above that massively strong pivot. So if we can do that in some magnitude, break through that. So here's your really, really good resistance. If we can do trade sideways and then break out or break out and retest or something where we continue a little bit higher, I think overall the XLF is set up to move nicely. Also printing that higher low that came in and everything else that is done. So the job numbers, the main cause for the huge bullish move today. Any other questions, concerns, thoughts, I guess, about more or less the broad overall market? We'll definitely be looking at everything else, all that other kind of good stuff. Any weekend plans? Liz says she has a work reunion. Work reunion, nice. I didn't even know they had those. Work reunion, all right. Let me change this. Moving this over here. Linderman, as I get to take my son to his ninja gymnastics class tomorrow. Oh man, ninja gymnastics class. Is it just me? Or does it sound like I'm missing out on something?
Sounds like you're missing out.
Angie, how do we sign up
Yeah.
for
Ninja gymnastics.
Yeah.
Is that just regular gymnastics? That's just regular gymnastics, right? But they call it ninja so that the boys don't feel silly about going to gymnastics? I'm just wondering.
That's a good point.
You've never seen it. Oh my gosh, I think that calls for a video. I want to see a video on Group Me, Justin, please.
Minnie, I need to see what this is about.
Yeah.
All right, Lindemann, thanks for ruining my weekend. Pretty much as the entire time I'm sleeping tonight, I'm going to try to be thinking about how I can sign up for a ninja gymnastics class. Sounds epic. I love it. Well, have fun, ma'am. Liz, have fun at your reunion. Anything else you guys got going on this weekend? Niels, what you got going on, my friend? Angie, do you know what movie you're seeing at the drive-in yet?
Did you see the first Purge?
Yeah, I did. I liked it a lot.
Okay, well, I guess the second one's out, and it's at the drive-through. Remember the drive-in theater
by
my house?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the second one's out, and we're going to go with her sister and her mom. But Stephanie says we have to see the first one first. She says, I didn't think it would be good, but it really was good.
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting concept. Very violent, obviously.
I bet. Yeah.
A lot of gore.
Well, okay.
But I mean, hey,
I can always shut my eyes and cover my ears, right?
I was just about to say you can always do that. You can always run away and hide from everything.
And Niels is doing honeydews.
Yes.
Yes.
Honeydews.
Good for you.
Everyone likes honeydews. I like honeydew. It's a good fruit. Not a big cantaloupe fan, though. Love watermelon. Honeydew and cantaloupe, pretty decent. I like honeydew more than cantaloupe. But it's a close run. It's a close race.
Yeah, I think we're pretty identical on our melon preferences.
Whew! That was question number 1 when I was trying to work with you, Angie. What's your melon preference?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was like, if you're a huge honeydew fan, this wasn't going to work.
I know.
That's great. That was great. Well, speaking of melons, let's go look at FAS. Worst transition of all time. Literally makes no sense at all. Again, I love this higher low, guys, that got printed in. I'm still kicking myself for not buying right here because I really was close to it. I just hadn't planned it. And that was a little bit of a sad day. Truly, I mean, at the low of that day, I wanted to buy tweezer bottom. Everything was there. I just hadn't planned it. A little upset about that still, but I'll forget about that in about, never. Weekly chart, XLF back down to the 200. So if we zoom out of here and we kind of see that this contraction coming in, this little pressure building, kind of got your first set of higher lows. So if and when we can break out of this move, really for the last 2 to 3 years in the markets, we could have a really big bullish surge. Everything is great, everything is happy, and then there's a little bit of a, catalyst at some point when everyone just starts printing money. Can't fight the Fed. That's kind of what's happening out there in the financial sector. Really interested to see what's going to transpire from here, but overall right now there seems to be a lot of bullish sentiment out in the markets. So let me go ahead and pull up kind of what we're going to talk about a little bit more today. Just a smidge more of what we're going to be discussing. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Got that. Getting this ready. Take a swig of water. Okay, where are my notes? Where are we? Come on, computer, you got it. My Mac is hanging on by a thread. Oh man, having to export all of its memory because it just doesn't know what's going on. It's like, help me! Stop it! It's like an overworked mule. I turn it off on the weekends just so that I feel like it has a soul sometimes. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to turn my computer off so that it can rest. All right, let's go look at this. So EXAS is the first on the list. Neil says iSol. Hey, that's probably a good little name right there. Exact Sciences. So Exact Sciences hanging out. We've got earnings coming up soon. Later in July. And you're getting a lot of wicks up here on EXAS. Here is your hourly chart. And honestly, it just kind of looks like a pennant wave 4 of some kind. I don't know. This is probably a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, EXAS. Let's continue to wait on it. What would be best case scenario is earnings doesn't really gap that much, which it doesn't appear that earnings really gaps that hard anyway. Trade sideways and then breaks out after earnings. That's what I would like to see a lot on EXAS. Don't know if we get that, but only time will tell. So if you're looking at playing EXAS, if you want to play it bearish, I mean, hey, it's at that strong resistance. Can't argue that. So if you're looking at playing it bearish, I would probably wait for a close or something, unless you have an aggressive plan and you follow that plan. You want to short at that resistance line and place the stop above that recent pivot. Absolutely more than welcome to. Here's your long-term moving averages. Long-term moving averages were above those well. Here's your weekly charts and weekly charts. Yeah, again, you got a lot of white candles in a row. So I think this rest coming up into earnings makes a lot of sense. So that's my thoughts on EXAS. Next on the list is Philip Morris, ticker symbol PM. PM, I want to look at it because Niels, well, I want to look at it for a few reasons. Number one, my brother Niels had himself a put sale expiring. Yay! So another put sale expiring for Niels Christensen. Off the 100 simple moving average. Earnings coming up soon. And for those of you who may want to own shares of Philip Morris, if there's any out there, you could probably kind of consider another one again. Because as long as Philip Morris doesn't open below this level, 97-ish on earnings, which would be about a $6 gap, which for Philip Morris would be pretty rare, it would sell off for certain if it opened below that price. Otherwise, probably viable. So if I looked over here at an August, just regular, let's do an August week 1. August week 1, 97.50 put sale is 85 cents. So I'll just kind of make a comment of that. Great put sale expiration there. If you're in the camp of ownership, 97.50 August week 1. 85 cent limit. Today is 7/8/16. So Zane was keeping a close eye on this one because you're at an all-time high, strong resistance, nice little distribution phase right there. Today was a new white soldier candle with an increase in volume. And again, new white soldier candle is a white candle opening and closing above the prior day black candles close. So if we start making a higher high and we start making a higher low, I would expect / anticipate for the trend and Philip Morris to continue more than likely. And if not specifically, then we could always buy low, sell high if it does roll back over, bounce, and kind of go on with its bad self that way. Questions on that? Can't believe today is the 8th of July. Man. Too cool. Neil says, why August week 1? The only reason I would go with August week 1 is because earnings is before August. I'd always rather get the premium, get that out the way, just in case you do have a big bearish gap and you don't have all this time that you have to wait for something to happen, right? So boom, you get some shares, and you can just turn right around and start doing some covered calls. If you get put to stock. That's kind of my take. So yeah, anytime I'm doing an over earnings, I don't try to go too far out past earnings, because if you do have a big gap and it is really, really bearish, I don't want to sit in there for an entire month just, and of course you can always buy it at close, obviously, but if earnings does have a gap, and let's say it gaps right here, and then you can buy it at close that put sale for nothing, and then randomly this happens, then you can get into another one. So, and when it comes to selling options, if I can prefer it, I'd always like to sell less time. Unless, of course, I really do not mind owning the shares whatsoever, then I'll do it a little bit of a longer time. So, yeah. Great question, though, my man. Great question. Let's go look at MPC. This is a swing trade that we're in, and we're pretty much back to break even today. So we have moved up our stop officially. So today is a little bit of a new white soldier. Hanging in there. I think anyone who may have been in that trade just normally might have gotten stopped out yesterday if they do move their stop too tight. So in hopes that this market is just trying to trap some people, I'm hoping the MPC can kind of bounce and continue higher. What I'm going to do from here is, if MPC hasn't broken 37.32 by end of day Wednesday, and we're break even or a tiny profit, I'll exit. Okay, so that's gonna be my plan. So I'm gonna give that 3 more days to simply break above this high right there. That's all it needs to do. Break above that high, I'm like, okay, I'll continue to be a little bit more patient. Maybe this just takes longer than I want it to. So Marathon P, doing its thing. Drew Raymond has a leap on Marathon P, and I forget exactly when it expires, but there's your weekly chart into the nice inside day candle. Don't know if that trade's going to work or not. I liked it, though. So, yeah. There we go. Hopefully it'll kind of bounce. Maybe Morningstar, trade higher. And if it does, then I'll just slowly keep moving up the stop. And that's just, hey, that's me telling me what I want me to do. I'm forcing myself to be controlled rather than trying to control the market. Because if you can try to control the market, you have better luck drinking the ocean with a straw. So just don't worry about it. Control yourself. Figure out what it is your plan is. Trade it from there. Now, yesterday, we did set up WDC, and we did get triggered into it. And thus far, it is relatively doing what I wanted it to do. We are going to run into a monumentally strong resistance right about up here, which is very, very close to 1-to-1. So my plan at this point is going to be this. If we hit the target by end of day Tuesday, I'll exit all. So if it just runs up there by 2 days from now, just boop, quick hour and a half, why not? And we can always get back in if it pulls back, and then at that point the 200 will be right there. I will say, if you want to hold until the 200 simple, that's about a 1 to 3 and some change risk-reward ratio, and I feel pretty good about that. So if it doesn't rush, right, it gets a little bit of a flag or something, or trades up and kind of pauses and hangs out, then as that 200 comes down, we can maybe increase that stop, see if it can flush higher. Got about a solid month until earnings. No reason to rush the trade. Looks good on the hourly. Here's the hourly chart. Here's your exponential moving averages. And of course, anything can change by tomorrow, but if we haven't hit that target by Tuesday, we'll increase the stop just a little bit to lose less than R, and that's our most recent swing trade that we got triggered into from yesterday. Now, SGY, we still have open, and I will leave it open until Wednesday. So this is still ready to go. Still ready to go in SGY. So if we can pull back, I still like a pullback. Really what you're doing on that play is you're getting that pullback as it pulls back into the 10 exponential moving average if you just leave that open. That's what you're accomplishing with that little setup right there. Okay, SUI, perfection. All right, so while we're doing this, let me go ahead and add this over here. Get that, Monday, okay. Got a few more to add to the list. Alcoa, Boeing, VMW, and PANW. Okay, ARE. Let's go check that out, whatever ARE is. Oh, yes, Alexandra Real Estate. I remember that trade. Reason I wanted to look at this is because it's been in an absolute surge of a trend. Really, really strong move. There's a lot of people who hopped on bearish yesterday, and it is a $100 stock that closed 3 pennies away from a perfect doji. So what I was going to say looks like it already has kind of made its move. If you want to do an attempt to get to snag it again, that would kind of be my setup right there. Again, perfect little doji, gapped down into a moving average. You wouldn't be up a lot right now, but you could move your stops either here or here, so you could lose less than an R. And really your main goal is just for that gap to fill and then for it to roll back over. Because this is a strong gap. And it's a really, really nice indecision candle yesterday. Haven't even hit the 50 exponential in a while. It was going to be an aggressive trade, one that I just kind of verbally mentioned. Like, hey, if you want to watch this, want to put on your watch list, feel free to. And that was going to be kind of pretty much the extent of it. So, that's about it. All right, looks like we're going to get into some of the banks. Getting into some banks. So, earnings coming up next week. Earnings season, ladies and gentlemen, is next week. I know. I can't believe it either. I can't believe the earnings season's already here. Remarkable. You're unbelievable. Woo! Bow, 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 bow. So Wells Fargo. Earnings coming up. July 15th. Which I think is expiration Friday. So that might make for something fun. Is that really next Friday? Oh boy. Unreal. Well, let me pull up the long-term moving averages. As you guys might remember, I've done a put sale on it before. Didn't specifically want to own shares, but didn't cry about it if I did. I wonder what a 44 or 45 for next week will pay. Wow. So it must be Friday after close or something. Go ahead and get Earnings Whisper pulled up. Wells Fargo. July 15th, 8 a.m. What in the dickens is going on with that? There's a quote that I've never said before. What in the dickens? Nope, never said that. Why is there absolutely no premium at 45 over earnings? Wow. Okay. It kind of makes me want to buy that trade just in case. I mean, it's 9 cents. Buy 100 of them. For like what? 9,000 was 9% of 1,000. $90? No way. I'm bad at math sometimes, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Should be $90. So 100 times 100 is 10,000 times 0.09. 900. That makes more sense. Buy 100 for $900. Anyway, interesting is all I'm going to say. That it's so cheap to buy, and maybe that changes by Monday. And of course, I'm not saying that they're going to gap down, but that price is built in that it gaps up or doesn't gap down that far. So if it does, and again, this is 45, so this could get in the money with just a decent, okay gap. I'm going to write that down because that's kind of interesting. I mean, $900, if that's less than your swing trade R, which a lot of you is, or if you have a earnings R, $45 put seems very cheap. Okay. For next Friday. Weird. Okay. Wells Fargo, done. Sorry, totally took me on a random tangent. So the market maker is factoring in that it's not going to gap down at all. So if for some reason it does, that could be a big payday. Especially if it opened at 44. It'd be worth $1. So you have 100 contracts worth $1. They'd increase in value like 900%. All right, whatever. Wells Fargo, nothing to see here. JP Morgan. So JP Morgan, this trigger right here for the tad bearish was it closed below this candle. So it closed below that price on the 13th of June. Then you had dividends and a gap down and a bunch of moves. So JP Morgan was very, very volatile for a while. Coming back over here to a weekly chart, you can see that it traded down to the 200 simple moving average once again. And now this trend line looks a little bit more like this. So JP Morgan probably also not going to have a lot of put sale premium down there. Not that I specifically want to own a bunch of banks right now. JP Morgan. I wonder if I should do some of these analysis really quick. What's an August week 1 put sale? There we go. The 14th. Why is there so much premium for August week 1, but not... These got to be after hour problems. Let me look at something else. Give me a second. Oh, shoot. All right. Let me just... Sorry. These option prices are really sidetracking me right now because they seem way too cheap. JP Morgan expiring on the 15th, which is next week, according to a few different places. The 58 is 11 cents. Yeah, that looks accurate. 58 is 11 cents? Okay. So August week 1. How low are we going here? 56. August week 1, 56 has some money. So what about all the way down 52.50 for regular August? And then once that expires, you know, if it doesn't gap down, 52.50 is 17 cents. You know, not specifically afraid of that. If anybody wants to own shares. Now, the reason I'm doing this August, Niels, is because it's really far away from the stock price. And if it did trade down to there, there's still premium. And it's not a bad place to own JP Morgan. 17 cents. Not a lot. Agreed. No bank robbing going on there. JP Morgan over earnings put sale. I'm noticing today that options are pretty cheap for next week on JPM and Wells Fargo. If you're an earnings trader, and you know your R and comfortable with gaps, both Wells Fargo and JP Morgan offer very cheap options. At least that's what their option chain shows now for next week. Neil says, interesting. JP Morgan 58 is 11 cents now, but it was 30 cents higher yesterday. It's a 75% drop in one day. Magnificently bullish today. Buying them. Buying a 58 next week put for 11 cents Monday. And 9 cents on Wells Fargo. Both expiring Friday. Could be directional option plays just in case the stock gaps down. One bank will gap down for sure. No idea which one though. Anyone who might want to own JP Morgan, oh my gosh, was that $10? Almost 20% cheaper than it is right now. Could sell this put. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. There we go. A lot of notes on that. A lot of notes, sir. Okay, wonderful. There we go. JP Morgan. So, I mean, a lot of the other banks are probably going to be somewhat similar. Bank of America, I'm not a big Bank of America options fan anyway. Doesn't really gap that well. Options are on the 18th. I mean, Bank of America, sell, buy. That's pretty much it. Right now, it's smack dab in the middle. And I have no position on Bank of America whatsoever. But there's your weekly. And yeah, buy low, sell high, buy low. That's about it on Bank of America. Very simple, very slow, very arduous. That stock takes half days and forever. A half day and forever to do anything, at least in my world. Okay, Visa, MasterCard. Visa, MasterCard can get some good moves. Here's the daily chart on Visa and earnings. Got plenty of time on earnings on Visa. You're right on top of the long-term moving averages. The market, Visa, is kind of going more or less sideways. You do have a resistance price up in here on Visa that's causing a lot of selling pressure to come on. You have a pivot, like a internal line that kind of draws through all this choppiness that's really, really strong. You guys see that? Really good level in there. So my thought on Visa, a close above the June 30th candle would be pretty bullish, in my opinion. Looking like a little bit of a double bottom potentially, right? You got a few weeks until earnings. Close above there, probably could run up into 81.57. Let me see if Stan's in the building. Nope. I know he has either MasterCard or Visa. I'm pretty sure it's MasterCard. Rob, do you have any covered calls or anything on those two either? I forget which one it was. I think it was MasterCard or Visa that Stan has. I'm pretty sure it's MasterCard. MasterCard, though, the good news on ticker symbol MA is it actually is approaching a decent support. So I have done a put sale of MasterCard before, recently, and now you're coming into a buy low, sell high area one more again. So I'll pull up your long-term moving averages. 76 would probably be free money for August. 75 is paying 23 cents and 80 is paying 54. So 80 is right here. So again, put sale premium does not make you rich at all. It can build over time. It's fun to do over time, and over years and years it kind of starts compounding. These are trades that I'll do if I A, want to own shares, or B, I'm watching very closely the premium of the options. Owning the shares is what can make you rich. Right? The put sell premium is just, all right, I'm getting paid to be patient. So if the stock doesn't come down here and I don't get put and whatever, okay, cool, I got paid money to relax. Not enough, not a lot, but some. So on MasterCard, this will be one of those scenarios where 75, 23 cents. That is right here. So if anyone wants to own shares for August, put sale 23 cents August. I'm just going to write these down here. So we're coming into earnings season. I do love earnings season for this reason. A lot of option premiums, a lot of gaps. It's all about reading the charts and not getting hosed when the trade does happen. Not in your favor. So this will be 54 cents August. There you go. So if you were saying, hey Newsom, which one would you go with? The 75. Less money, less of a chance I get put to shares because I don't personally love MasterCard. Right? If I'm like, hey, I want MasterCard, give me some MasterCard. 80 would be like blindfolded, and then probably do a little bit of a closer one. If I really, really wanted to own shares, like an August week 1, closer to the price stock. So probably like an 83 August week 1, if I really wanted to own shares. Which is pretty much my standard 1%, which is whatever. Not that great. Okay, there we go. MasterCard. Zippity doo-dah. Zippity day. I gotta start moving. Oh my gosh. Let me go do Alcoa really quick. This is gonna be a popular one. Alcoa starting the earnings season next week. The 11th, which I believe is Monday, after the close. Bearish. Bullish. Earnings week is here. Okay, next week starts the fun. Alcoa is historically the stock that starts earnings season. A gap up into the green zone would be bullish, or would have a bullish perspective for the swing / day trade. The gap up into the red zone would have a bearish perspective. Okay, I don't know if I've done Alcoa in a while. Analysis on Alcoa after earnings. There we go. Pretty much the last time I did it. Okay, there we go. Neutral. Don't know what it's going to do. The way metals have been moving lately, probably bullish, because United States Steel has been moving really well. I've been enjoying that move. Yeah, and that's bottom line, what it looks like right there. It looks good. So the last time, let's see how I did the last time. Analysis on Alcoa after earnings. I was short. I'm not going to personally this trade, mostly for perspectives, bearish retest, volume was increasing. I think I got stopped out and it ran. Yep. That's exactly what happened. We got stopped out on one day and then it just ran. Alright, cool. And from there, it hasn't really done that much. Anyway, back to where we are now. That's what I got on Alcoa. .3D printing, ticker symbol DDD. Updating this one because a few of you did this trade right here. Bullish breakout of a channel. Close above here, which is about 1431. So if 3D closes above 1431, it wouldn't be specifically massively bearish. Selling puts on 3D, working out okay. Bam, bam, bam. Buy low, sell high. Gotta give shout outs to Ken Freeman on this one. Ken Freeman was talking about buying right there off the 200. He's like, hey, it's here. Should we buy? And I said, if your plan says to buy, buy, man. It's out of support. Looks great. There it goes, DD. And if you didn't buy there, then you got your new white soldier the next day and it bounced off and whatever. So, premium, that's going to likely expire next week. DDD looking good. On to the next. So, TLT, man, has had some crazy cool moves recently. So, TLT, great looking gap, great looking move. Gapped up. Karen had a July 8th covered call. So her covered call has and is and did expire worthless. On this day right here, had a bullish retest gap. Here's your hourly charts on TLT and gapped up, traded down, bounced, and great looking time to unravel if you're in the bear call up there. Here's your little support. Trade back down, bounce off support. So TLT trading higher. So Karen, great job on getting exercise on your TLT shares. I'm sure you're happy about that. All-time high, this one is. So, Karen, great job getting exercise on TLT. All right, wonderful. Here's the daily chart again, and overall strong bullish move. Doing its thing. So we're talking all-time highs at this price, and come over here, 7, 8, 16, all-time high, buy the bounce. Okay, got it. Niels, happy to see our Dave & Buster's move a little bit better today. PLIY, good candle, happy about that. Okay, TLT, done. Boeing, just mostly looking at Boeing today. Niels had a 128 covered call. Looks like you're getting exercise, buddy. Well done. He's also got a 115 July. And feel free just to update me whenever you do anything else different or additional with Boeing. Says will do. Perfect. Thank you so much, sir. Boeing, done. United States Steel, since I was talking about it earlier, great bounce. Put sale, likely going to expire worthless. Ken Freeman did a 1550. I did the 14. Got 20 cents for that bugger. And at this point, I mean, I like the candle. I like the bearish candle that occurred on the 7th. I like this little gap. And I'm expecting a little bit of a move higher. Here's the long-term moving averages on a weekly chart, and we're going to run into those soon. So if anyone out there has some shares of X, that would be a pretty fun place to do some covered calls. Once it rolls into 20, snacks and 2250s or 23s. You guys know I like trading X a lot, and yeah. So that's it. Okay, United States Steel, done. Gold, silver, dollar index. Let's go check them out. Dollar index today up again a little bit. Here's your weekly perspective. And on the weekly, looks like it's forming that double bottom. Buy low, sell high. I'm still thinking the dollar bounces. Ironically enough, gold and silver have and are continuing higher. So this is a very strange market right now. Bonds are up. Gold and silver are up. The dollar index is up. And oil going down only a little bit. Pretty crazy. So anyway, on gold, had the 127, 128 bear call. Unraveled that successfully. Pretty proud about myself on the unravel. So gold out of that entirely. And if you're looking at playing gold, which a few of you are, if you're looking at playing it bullish, it's a great breakout of this little angle. I loved this pennant pattern right here. Just let it pull back a skosh more into the moving averages. So if you're looking at playing gold again bullish, just give it a little bit of time. Wait just a hair. Here's silver. Silver, which is also has moved amazingly well recently. I think Karen has an 18 July covered call. Feeling really happy about silver making its strong debut with some really, really good volume. All of that volume came in from that neckline retest. So right when everyone starts getting really, everything gets really popular on silver and gold and everyone starts talking about it and they're like, oh, I've been in bullish for a long time. It's usually right when it starts pausing. So you're getting a lot of volume increasing. You're getting what looks to be some type of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe, or 1, 2, 3, and inside that's a 1, 2, 3. I think that makes the most sense. So we're about to trade into a rock solid resistance on silver and gold. I would just kind of wait a little bit more of a pullback if you're looking at buying them. So bottom line, all I'm saying is if you haven't gotten into any of these metals yet, wait. Buying was back in here. That was it. So just give it a little bit of time. Because you're going to run some resistance, and again, the move is really, really strong. Volume is picking up. It can easily continue higher, but if you do a quick fib, which we're going to do a lot more on Merchant Monday, Mentorship Monday, which is this Monday, by the way. We're going to be doing a lot more work with fibs. You'll see a great 6.82 retracement. Could make its way up to 1967, but that's probably going to be ultimate target before it pulls back. So that's silver. Rob says, did not expect Nugget to go to 167. Sold them all at 127. Hey, man. Great trade, though. Very well done. I expect a little bit more of a pullback as well. But, hey, you can always buy some more. You locked in a gain. Really, really good move. Again, the dollar's bouncing and gold's still going up. So strong, strong move here. Just right when everyone starts getting exuberantly bullish on metals, which they're getting there now. Let's just wait for a little bit more of a pullback. All right, American Express, AXP. No clue what's going on AXP. Stan's got a October covered call. It closed below bearish on that day. Trade lower, retested. Probably going to get stopped out on American Express. If you got earnings on American Express coming up next week, we'll be able to look at those a little bit more in depth. All I can really come up with on AXP is it's probably a failed double top unless earnings gaps down. And if earnings does gap down, buy low, sell high. That's kind of how I see it. Buy low, sell high. So really strong support at 53.34. If this is going to be an ABC wave, ABC, something like that. I mean, you got some very strong candles. Bottom line on the financials, across the board, you have a lot of Morningstar reversals. So just something to keep in mind there. Under Armour, ticker symbol UA. I am keeping my eyes on Under Armour at these levels. As you guys know, had a $35 put sale for July. I believe it was July. Pretty sure it was July. It might have been August, but I think it was July. Under Armour on the daily chart So you're at the 100 simple on the daily and the weekly. It appears to me that this is some type of consolidation, accumulation pattern, triple bottom thing, broke above there, and is retesting. So for a quick bullish move on Under Armour, kind of zoom in here to the hourly chart, which I'll do in just a second. Here's your hourly. Kind of anticipating likely a bullish move out of here. And this is how I personally would have it set up initially. And then I'd move my stop up to here if it breaks out. And I would want that to break out bullish within the next 2 to 3 days for just a quick little R move into the 200 and into earnings, kind of this gap fill right here. So Under Armour, for those of you who do trade that one pretty often, be just kind of like a quick in and out. BX. What's BX? I know what BMX is. What's BX? Blackstone. I think Robert Meek was looking for this one, but I can't remember who wanted to look at this trade. But the good news is Blackstone, very simple analysis, rock solid support, really good morning star reversal, buy low, sell high. Place your stop where you want it, figure out how long you want to be in the trade, figure out what your strategy is, either options or shares, and make magic, because that's a really good looking move, and yeah, looks good. So Blackstone, buy low, sell high. ARLP. Alliance something something. I think Robert Meek is playing this one as well. If I had to guess, he probably looked to play the retest of that. Broke out of that resistance, a bunch of white candles, looked to play the retest. If that's how you played it, Robert, that's exactly what I would do. Above the long-term moving averages, you're above your exponential moving averages. ARLP looks good. VMW. VMW, oh snap. Oh gosh, I broke it. I'm not going to make VMW official, but for any of my aggressive, active traders, if you want to jot this one down, VMWs, I really like everything about this gap, and you got about 2 weeks until earnings. So if you want to keep this one on your bullish watch list, I say feel free to. Looks good. Looks really good. So here's your hourly and hourly chart. I just really like the gap and the break above there. Kind of hopping in. Feels pretty saucy. So VMW, that's what I'm looking for on VMware. Just throwing that out there. I like everything about that gap. It is a bullish retest gap. It opened right above a lot of pivots. I like that kind of for a swing trade. And PANW. Palo Alto, my friends, has already had earnings a little bit ago and closed right on the neckline of that double bottom today. So PANW, I think we've tried to play bearish not too long ago. I think I want to try to play that one bullish off of that double bottom. And I might give this a little bit of room. I'm wondering, so when I'm looking at the analysis, I'm thinking it might be a little bit long term for me to track. This is how I would like to play it. With a pullback to here. It's a $10 stop. So it might be better with shares. But PANW, that's what I'll be looking for right there. Yeah, it might be a little bit too long term to track that one. But anyway, if you want to keep an eye on PANW, if you want to look to play it, I mean, you're just looking at that to buy low, sell high with a double bottom, looking for a small pullback and stop under the pivot. So it's the best I got. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's what we got. That was Friday. That was the week. Thanks so much for being here. You were all magnificent. Monday is merchant. I keep saying that. Mentorship Monday. Mentorship Monday. So we're doing a lot of fibs works. So we're going to do fibs and we're going to do options. That's what we're going to work a lot on Monday. Both of those. Directional. Fibs and directional options. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. And until then, remember, love life, live life, enjoy it. You rock. Bye-bye.